considering how well that video did. Let's do more stuff like that. Let's go ahead and start talking about something that I previously talked about before last year, and it was in regards to the Carson situation that happened where, for those of you who are for some reason out of the loop, Carson was extradited basically from the community after his group of friends explained the situation where he was having a very sexual-esque relationship in some sorts with a fan of his who was 17 when he was 19 years old. And from that alone, people were starting to basically call him a pedo for some reason, which never really made any sense to me because it was a 2-year gap. He was 19, she was 17. Relationships like these aren't rare. These aren't, something that they should be seen as pedophilia, because relationships where there's a 2-year gap, sort of like this, are actually very common and shouldn't be seen as something bad per se. And the most thing that I had a lot of criticism with it after it was basically out there in the open and people were talking about it was the power dynamic. Carson was a huge content creator. Even at the time when he was 19 years old, he was a huge content creator. He had a lot of influence, and there was that power dynamic where she didn't really have any influence. She couldn't come out and said like, oh, he was doing something bad towards her and he was being a shitty person overall. And that was the problem that I had at that point. That was basically the thing that I was pointing out. I didn't think he was necessarily doing something extreme as to go after younger female fans who are under the age of 17 when he's over the age of like 20, for example. From off of basically what we have of the information that's currently given, who knows if that's even the situation that happened, because his friends like Jay Slat and a couple of other people that were in a drama alert with Keemstar certainly made it seem like it was a huge deal, and some stuff happened further than what we already currently know. But from what we know so far of what the general public knows, he only had the one encounter with the 17-year-old, and he admitted to his friends that he was doing that with the 17-year-old, and they hid information from that from everyone else because they thought that he would get better, and he wouldn't get better. And they explained that they had to keep helping the guy over and over again because he kept going back to the same old habit of interacting that way towards his younger female fans. How much younger are they? Are they 18-year-old? Are they 18-year-olds? Are they under 18? Are they 17, 16-year-olds? When was he doing this? What age was he? And just this whole situation is very convoluted and complex, and there's a whole bunch of information that's not being told. We only know one side of the story because when information about this was coming out, Carson decided to completely leave the community and overall and just go take time for himself to go ahead and heal in his own way. And multiple times Carson's actually sort of come back in a couple of times, and he would show that he was okay, but then he would immediately delete the post. Recently, Carson became a topic of conversation again when he said in a tweet that he was going to be coming back pretty soon. Just give him a little bit of time and stuff will probably go back to normal with him, with content creation. It's a very weird situation because we only know so much information from what we're given, and no one just seems to want to talk about any further information about what actually happened. We only know so much, and I feel if they really wanted this to stop, they would have wanted to talk more about it, but they just didn't mention anything. Maybe they felt for some reason they only needed to mention one situation, one sequence of events that happened during when he did that to forward when he kept doing the same thing over and over again. They wanted him to go ahead and reflect on his mistakes, reflect on what he was doing, and heal from that and try to become a better person, which from what we've seen very briefly from a couple of videos that he's posted on his Instagram and from what he's told people on Twitter with his public tweets, which he would then delete, it seems like he is doing better. And the only thing I can really say is I hope that he is doing better and that his mental health is in a state where it's stable. He doesn't have to worry about doing something terrible and heinous, which is something that we should all really praise him for wanting to do when being in a state where he actually is very, very conscious of where he is, what he's doing, and that he doesn't want to harm himself or harm other people. But for some reason, people are still absolutely mad at him, even though the situation has long since passed and he's long since tried to find himself and find who he is and be better and heal from the situation to happen and be a better person than what he was before. And try to rectify the mistakes by becoming a better person. Though, for some reason, people are still upset at him, and honestly, I just don't really understand it. I think it should be okay for him to come back, because Twitter cancellation and cancel culture is such a huge thing that just never wants to end. It's something that just keeps on coming back, and it keeps happening, and more creators are getting canceled over very small, minute things that don't really make much sense to be canceled over, and just, it's a ridiculous situation that happened with Carson. If that's the only thing that he did, if there's more, I would wish they would tell us that there's more. Maybe Carson will explain more when he eventually comes back. I have no clue. I just hope that so far for right now that he's doing okay and that he's improving and that he's healing. That's the best thing I can wish for him to do. I just really wanted to make a brief video talking about Carson and his eventual return. I think it's fine. I think it's fine for him to return. I think creators should potentially return if what they've done isn't on a scale as like someone like EDP445, who is a legitimately bad person. But what Carson did, it wasn't nearly as bad. It shouldn't have been seen as such a severe situation. I think it was completely blown out of proportions. But then again, like I said, maybe there's information that we simply don't know yet, and maybe it'll get explained later on in the future, but we'll never really know, will we? Unless someone decides to want to explain it, like Carson himself. So anyways, that's all I really have to say about the situation. I think it's fine that Carson's coming back. I think he should come back and explain the situation in his own eyes and his own words. And only time will tell if people are going to be willing to want to accept his apology and accept the mistakes that he's made, and that he's trying to get better from that and accept him back into the community. So anyways, really want to just make a quick video talking about the situation because I had previously talked about it before. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you liked the video, be sure to leave a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. I'll see you guys next one. Have a fantastic day. I'm out. Peace.